Only a
Hello.
couple weeks out from having to change that entire intro.
Oh, you're thinking about that.
I'm thinking about that every time I see it. Good evening, everyone. We are in our Christmas attire. Sort of.
Yes.
This is what I've been wearing for all the Christmas vlogs so far, save
I-
for one or two of them, which
I'm
are...
honestly just not having a great hair day, which is why the hat is on.
Well,
so-
no one would have known if you hadn't told them.
I'm honest.
I think you look cute with
I mean,
your little Santa
I
hat.
do like the Santa hats, but it's just like it's a little bit out of control.
Is it a little bit out of control?
But I thought I'd also be festive.
If that's out of control for you, you're doing pretty well in life. My out of control is like everything
You
falling
have,
off my
like-
head.
Yeah, I suppose that's a different kind of out of control.
Welcome, Tim. Can't wait for the big reveal. We are going to be announcing our giveaway winner tonight. For those of you who have entered the holiday giveaway, stick around. I will say we are not going to do it right at the outset of the live stream.
Oh, gotcha.
We are pulling, as Katie called, a dirty little trick on you and making you wait. But I will also say this. If you don't have the time to stick around for the live stream, we totally get it. You will not be barred from winning if you are the winner just because you bounced from the live stream.
Yeah.
So
You
will
do
be
not have to be present
you will
at
be
the announcement.
contacted
Yeah.
should you have won. So,
Yeah.
but if you want to see firsthand who won,
Stick around.
stick around. I am totally with Tim's advice as well. Don't forget to fight the algo by hitting the like. I love how we're always fighting the algorithm instead of just like leading into it, because that's
Right.
what small
We're not
creators do.
feeding the algorithm, we're fighting
We're
it.
fighting it. We hate it. We want it to go away. It's
And
not good.
Thank you for the audio checks from two
Yes,
tickets and
2
also from
tickets.
Story
Welcome, Chad and
Thrills.
Vanessa and Tim. Both say audio is good. Good. I've done something right today. Good. Good. That's a good start. Well, welcome everyone. As we have mentioned, we will be announcing the holiday winner tonight, but we do have other stuff to talk about tonight too. The title of the live stream, in case you missed it, is 10 hard lessons we learned while content creating, or in the process of content creating, or however the heck I phrased it.
What's the title of the
I don't know.
What is it?
10 hard lessons we learned as content creators. I think the important thing is that we're
11
going to have 10
lessons
lessons
is
to talk
no
about. Skate
what
Charlie!
you're talking about.
What's up? I love Skate Charlie's avatar, or profile pic, whatever we call it on YouTube.
Yeah, what is it? I guess it's a profile.
It just looks like he's always
Channel
surprised.
pic.
Welcome, welcome. All right, let's get moving. I know the giveaway people will want to wait as for us. We'll want to get to the giveaway stuff as quickly as possible. This is the kind of night it's going to be. I'm just going to be word vomiting and correcting myself halfway through. We do have, as we say, other things to talk about. So let's start with the stuff that we actually came to talk about. Follow our socials. If you're not already following our socials, you missed out on a great chance to win a pretty hefty giveaway. So make sure you are following so you don't miss the next one, because I think we're in agreement that this one went pretty well and we're willing to do another one. And we have some ideas about when we want to do another one. It won't be soon, but it will be big. It will be sometime in 2024. Real Tim and Katie on Instagram and Threads, Tim and Katie on Facebook, and timandkt.net, our website. That was especially important for the giveaway because we did make a pretty in-depth blog post about rules and entry and all of that.
And
So
we're still behind on
we are
other
super behind,
stuff.
but we will catch up. It's just the lowest priority of a whole stack of priorities.
We
So
just couldn't keep up with all the fun stuff. we
there's
did.
just so much. I need an intern. Can I hire an intern?
I think our intern's name is ChatGPT.
Can we have ChatGPT? Can we have a work study program at Tim and Katie? All right. So for those of you who are for the giveaway, it won't be long, I promise. But in the meantime, tonight we're going to talk about 10 hard lessons that we learned as content creators. Now, there's a whole wide range of stuff that we've learned since we started. We have learned significantly more than 10 lessons. And some of these lessons
Have
that
little
we've...
like sub lessons.
Yeah, some of them also were harder than others. Some of them were relatively soft lessons in comparison to other lessons. But we wanted to talk about this because we've been doing content creation now for, this is 3.5 years. It'll be four full years of content creation in July. And it has been a journey. It's been very much a Like we've had highs and lows all the way through it.
Yeah.
It started out, I'll be honest, it started out very much low because we did start in the middle of COVID, and there was a lot of traction for big YouTubers who had already been, well, they weren't actually big YouTubers then.
Well,
a lot of channels blew up
a lot
in
of
the middle of
channels
COVID.
small or like I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
And then because of everyone being at home watching stuff all the time,
We were a little late.
Really big fast.
We were a little late.
And plenty of those people were established like long before we did. So it's just like the like living vicariously. I think vlogging and living vicariously through other people's travels and things really blew up. And it was our only way to like visit the parks for a long time. But anyway, we're not begrudging anyone's success. We're just saying that
no, not at all. But that's
a while for us to build up any sort of
our momentum started effectively 3 years after everyone else's momentum. Everyone who was blowing up during the pandemic was at it a little bit longer or a little bit earlier than we were, and they hit the exact right moment in time where everyone was at home and everyone was watching YouTube. And I'm honestly glad for that because, you know, some of those channels inspired us to start a channel and we wouldn't be here without them. So I'm not, as Katie said, we're not begrudging anyone's success, but it has been a very slow crawl to, we're almost at 2,000 subscribers now, which was part of the point of the giveaway, was to kind of get ourselves out there and try to connect with the community a little bit more. And we're, I think, pretty happy with where we are as content creators, but even recently, there have been some ups and downs. And I think our goal tonight is to kind of pass off some of the things we've learned so that hopefully anyone who wants to content create and is trying to start a channel and is working around to content creation will be able to learn from those mistakes and maybe not make all of them. Some of them, I don't know.
And some of these mistakes we have made more than once, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, we're still making mistakes.
We keep bringing them up.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll stick with us one day.
Skate Charlie wants to know if we're going to any theme parks for Christmas. We've already been.
I mean, for Christmas,
no. Oh, for Christmas, on Christmas Day? No.
If that's what you mean, no, we'll be with family then, but, you know, more, I feel like, you know, celebrate however you want, whether it's with family, friends, or out at a theme park, do what you want to do. We've done our
theme park
Candy
Christmas
Lane.
crawl. We've done Candy Lane. We've done Busch Gardens Christmas Town for 2 days. I mean, we will be going back to Hershey Park too for New Year's. But that will be kind of just a very tail end of the holidays. So I think at that point, probably we're past the Christmas time and into the mop up before we head into the New Year time.
Yep.
So, but it's been fun. I highly recommend anyone who wants to go to a theme park on Christmas Day. Not all of them locally, the smaller parks are going to be open, but if you can make it to some place like Disney, it's an experience. It's going to be busy, but we did it in 2022. We did Boxing Day and we followed up Christmas Day in Disneyland. That was an experience unto itself. Boxing Day actually was not too bad.
Boxing Day, I think
for some reason, the 27th was just nuts.
Yeah. People were like still at home with family on Boxing Day. And then on the 27th, everyone's like, nope, back to Disney. I'm off school. I'm off work.
I will say though, we have done Black Friday at a theme park.
Also,
don't do it.
Also not a good idea.
Don't do it. That's not in our lessons, but that's a bonus. That's a freebie we're throwing into you. Tim, I don't know what you're volunteering for.
He's volunteering to be your intern.
Oh, good. Yes, you're hired. All right. So let's roll right into it. We're going to do 5 lessons for you. Then we're going to break. We're going to announce a winner. And then we're going to do 5 more lessons. So anyone who's waiting patiently for the giveaway, it's coming soon. In the meantime, feel free to drop in any lessons you all have learned if you're content creators as we go, because as we said, these aren't all of them. We've learned many more. These are just the hardest ones to swallow.
Well, let's be honest. These are the ones we thought about 2
2
days ago when we were putting this together.
Well, the ones that stay top of mind are the lessons you learn the best.
Yeah.
First one. This should be an easy one, right? You would think, but we've made this mistake dozens of times. Stand clear of speakers and wind. If you are doing just ambient, like taking video of parks and like taking pictures and all, this isn't going to matter to you, obviously. But if you're doing like narration-driven vlogging that has to have some sort of story as you're going, that story is going to be very hard to hear and may indeed be copyrighted if you're standing next to a speaker while you're telling your story.
Yep.
So where this most happens probably to us is Hershey Park. because the music that is played throughout Hershey Park, every so often you'll hear the Hershey Park Happy song, which is like their theme song.
Right.
And that's, for some reason, not a big copyright dinger, but Google and YouTube are just like so aggressive
Any
about
other
copyright.
pop song, like if you're there during the summer season where they're just playing whatever pop songs. Although, to Hershey's credit, I think they did change up some of their playlists this year.
They did. They changed the Christmas loop.
Spooky season and summertime, so it was nice not to hear the same like 7 songs, it sounds like.
But God help you if Taylor Swift is playing anywhere near where you happen to be.
Yep.
That thing is going to get
about the
copyright
ride
ding.
you just did, and the sound is coming, and YouTube picks it up. The algorithm picks it up. The algorithm will start a fight with you, and all of a sudden your video is.
I will also say there has been an occasion where, so when we shot a video at the Strat, which is, I'm just so sad how that video did not do as well as we wanted it to do, because it was a really fun day. Sometimes, this is a hard lesson we didn't cover, so it's another bonus lesson. Sometimes you pour your heart and soul into an edit and it doesn't go anywhere.
Yep.
Like sometimes the edits that you slap together at the last second get like 10,000 views. And then the edits that you like really, really, really pour your heart, you really want it to do well. Because,
I don't touch the edits.
Well, you like the stories though, and you get a lot of the shots, and you drive the narration.
Yeah,
You're part of it as much as I am.
I help with the content creation, but I don't. There are times where I feel like the content and the day was really good, and then you're making it, and you're like, I don't really like this video.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's fine. And you're like, no, I don't like it. So.
And I can just be picky. But the Strat video, if you haven't seen it, this is me pleading with you to go check it out. I really like it. It's the Strat and Meow Wolf. We did Omega Mart in the same day. That video, I had probably about 2 minutes more of footage that I was pretty proud of because it turned out visually well. I didn't talk enough. Can you believe that? Me saying that. I talk so much. I never shut up. But the one time I shut up because I was just like, oh, cool. And I was exploring, solid 2 minutes of copyrighted music. And I had to pull the entire thing. It was just like a walk around tour of the Strat, and the music was playing all throughout. So this is key, right? If you hear music, get away from it to be safe. There are ways around this, and this is another of the lessons we actually will go into, so I won't spoil everything. But if you hear music, don't do your narration next to it.
Yeah.
If you hear wind, same thing, different reason, because we have had takes utterly ruined by wind as well. Yep. But that is a lesson that we keep learning over and over and over and over. And we'll continue learning.
Are we far enough away from the speaker? I think so. We were not.
We were not. Caleb.
Hello.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. I like your avatar. I think it's a lion. Is it a battle cat?
A battle cat?
I don't know what to call it. I like the avatar though. Thank you for joining us. Tim says, yes, they did switch up the Music Express playlist. Oh, even the Music Express, like down by, okay. Yeah. Yeah, nice. Hershey Park has been, I will say this. I'm
really pleased with Hershey Park.
Hershey Park has really been rocking it the past couple of years. 2023 was a big update year. Mm-hmm. They did a lot of things really well this year that they'd not done quite as well the previous years.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I built my own bridge without even realizing.
This picks up right from the copyrighted music clip that you have.
Lesson 2 is test it before you regret it, but before wouldn't fit as neatly, and I'm OCD, so I said or regret it. The basic meaning of test it or regret it, there's 2 different takeaways, right? The physical stuff, if you get a new camera, if you're using your phone, if you've not played with HDR or toggling HDR mode on and off, if you don't know how that footage is going to look in post, if you haven't worked with the editor before, any of that stuff that actually mechanically makes your story or your video or whatever you're doing with it Instagram. If you haven't tested, there's a good chance you're going to make several silly mistakes that you look back on maybe even 6 months from now. I was thinking about the long-term content creator journey, but like if I were to go back and watch my 2020 vlogs right now, I would be pissed because we were so dumb about how we went through some of this stuff. Now, every time I get a new camera, I spend probably like 3 days testing it and playing with all the settings. And we don't get new cameras often, but we did get a brand new camera this year for spooky season, which is like a night vision. Mm-hmm. And that was, first of all, that camera is not designed for vlogging. It's not even designed for narrative purposes. It's supposed to be like a
Ghost Hunter.
Ghost Hunters, like it's a EVP. Is that what electronic phenomenon? I don't know what the acronym is off the top of my head. It's supposed to pick up ghosts, right? It's got like a ultraviolet setting so that you can see like spiritual activity. That's not what we're using it for, but we had to test that and find out that it doesn't record basically any audio worth having. It's absolutely garbage audio. It peaks so high. So we built actually a whole mount out that we use the GoPro as the...
If you've seen me carrying a double camera setup at all at like Field or any other haunt, the reason why is basically we need the GoPro audio.
Because we can't use the Phasm cam is what it's called. It's from Ghost Stop, by the way, if anyone's interested in getting that name. It has
like totally revolutionized, I think, some of our haunt vlogs and stuff. So
it is really cool. But I will say this too, it drains batteries really quickly, which is another thing we found out by pushing it. And we wouldn't have found out. Test your cameras, is what I'm saying. At the end of the day, test your equipment.
Test your equipment.
But there's another thing. There is another thing to test as you're putting together content. And this is something I am going to throw this at anyone who wants to be a content creator. This is something that I learned to do very quickly. And I actually learned it on the job for like a professional gig that was unrelated to YouTube in any way, shape, or form. But it has really helped me in my edits and getting things out. Because when we shoot, typically it'll be on the weekend. This is not our full-time gig. So we go to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We try to post a video on Thursday. That means I'm editing on nights. I do not have time to edit a video twice. If I edit something all the way through and I upload it overnight, because our internet can be kind of slow, it comes out the following day and it gets copyright dinged. That's it. I got a copyright dinged video. I can't do anything about it. So what we decided to start doing very early on was testing our individual, like any segment that we think might have the potential to be copyright dinged. Anytime we hear music in the background, even if it's music that you wouldn't think, like I tested the Celtic fire dancers from our Busch Gardens vlog because I wasn't 100% sure where that music was coming from or whether it was copyrighted or how it was copyrighted.
And this comes into play a lot with shows. So, which is why a lot, you'll probably never see us post like whole show, because even though that's a nice resource for someone, for us it doesn't give us any bang for buck because it's most likely copyrighted music.
Right, exactly.
So we'll post clips and highlights of a show, and if it seems a little bit, Tim does a really good job, I think, of putting them together, but if it does seem a little bit chopped, it's because it's like, ooh, I could get away with 8 seconds of that song but not 10.
Yeah.
You know?
And sometimes I will, what I do is I extract individual segments that are about 8 seconds, 15 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, however long I think I need to include in the vlog. And sometimes I get really chaotic and push the limits with like a 25-second clip. And I upload those individual segments, just like the 25-second clip, as unlisted videos. If you set the monetization, if you're monetized too, this isn't a problem if you're not monetized. So to be clear, this is a problem that arises as you get bigger. Not that we're big.
No.
But as you become monetized, if you want to be a content creator, this is something that you're going to wind up running against, is the monetization. The revenue can be split or it can be seized by copyright holders. Your video may be demonetized. You may even get a copyright strike, which is something we all try to avoid. So I upload the individual segments as unlisted videos. I set them as monetized, but no one can see them except for Google. Google and YouTube are doing the ad checks. And if Google says this is okay, well, then that clip's okay to include in my video just as it is. If Google says this clip is copyrighted, then I shorten it and I upload a shorter clip, or I put things underneath of it and try to like render it useless, basically for the copyright purposes. And then I upload it again and see what happens. And that's eventually how we get to all of these videos. Now, as you can see in the screenshot, our haunt video from King's Dominion, I swear to you, I uploaded probably 20 different clips. And I wound up with still getting copyrighted on one clip that I didn't, it was literally just a drum beat. I didn't even think it was significant. It still got dinged. Fortunately, the copyright holder was keen on splitting revenue instead of seizing it or copyright striking it, which is really nice. But I can't do anything about this. This video is how it is. And I kind of like the edit anyway, so I wasn't like devastated, but it is something that is going to keep coming up. If you are a content creator, this is an invaluable trick.
Yep.
And I'm happy to pass it off to anyone who wants to learn. Speaking of content creators,
hi,
Sapphire! We should have bought our scaredy bear.
Oh, I I should go get it.
No, it's too late.
I know. I have to open the door.
I have to open the door and mess with the sound. We have named, so Sapphire is a actor at Field of Screams. We did attend their Christmas event this past weekend, and she passed off one of her amazing scaredy bears to us. It's a little stuffed bear that has monster teeth.
A little sleeping cat.
It was a
cap
Christmas
and a little
bear,
sweater. So cute.
and we have named it Tinsel. Right?
I have named it Tinsel.
Tinsel is the new scaredy bear. He's a new member of our family. We will be posting about scaredy bears, don't you worry. But everyone check out Sapphire's channel as well, because she is a content creator. She does a lot of inside scoops from Field of Screams.
That's a good point.
Freckles the Clown, I'm betting, is a Field of Screams person. I don't know this for sure, but I'm betting. All right.
We're so happy y'all have joined
We are
us.
so happy. We're always so happy to see you guys.
Always.
Okay. Lesson 3. You can't do it all.
We tried. We tried.
We have
this
tried.
2 weeks ago.
We have tried. So when you're content creating, especially, if you have an audience that you want to showcase something to, your instinct will almost always be, when you go to an event, you're like, I got to show a little bit of everything. I got to run around. And this happens to us at Field of Screams too, because we want to try to showcase everything that they have, because they have so much. And it's fortunate that we've been to Field of Screams so many times, and that we have had an opportunity to showcase different things over the course of many visits, so we don't feel as much pressure. But places like Busch Gardens Christmas Town 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, actually. Yeah. We went to Busch Gardens Christmas Town for a long weekend. We tried to make a list. Like, literally, we had 2 days.
It was like,
we made a whole list.
Shows. 11. We have 11 shows. We have 2 days. We'll try to see them all. And then, like, immediately we were putting our schedule together, and we were like, well, we've seen these 2 before. We'll take them off. And then it was like, we showed up at the wrong times because we were looking at the wrong day. They switched the schedule on us, and then, which happens, like, if you don't pay attention to the app. It's totally our fault. Like, we could have rechecked the time. So
we set up our schedule in such a way that, like, missing one show screwed up all the other schedule. Like, everything we had left to do was like, if we go to this show, we'll miss this show. If we go to this show, we'll miss. They're all staggered in such a way that, like, you can do everything, but you can't do everything and vlog it.
Yes.
It's really hard to content create while you're trying to do it all. And the instinct is always going to be, I must do as much as possible. I must stress myself out so that we have a good video. And I am deeply guilty of this, because I am highly perfectionistic, particularly about the vlogs, because I really, really, really want to make each vlog, each video better than the last one. It's not always possible. Sometimes
literally could not even, like, continue vlogging on that Friday. We were like, had to stop.
Yeah.
We were like, stop. I want to have fun. This is stressing me out.
Well, we did. I mean, we came out with some pretty great vlogs in the end. I think I actually really like how Christmas Town vlogs turned out, but there is an awful lot that we didn't shoot. There's an awful lot that we didn't shoot. And I think overall, like, the vibe of our videos was better for it, because you could tell when we're trying to do everything, we're like, we're going to go this way, we're going to go this way, we're going to go this way. You get stressed out, and it's not fun. It's not fun to be there, and it's not fun for people to watch you be there, which defeats the whole purpose. So it's hard. It's especially hard if you are as OCD as I am, and you really want to make like this video has to be better than the last one. This video has to be good, or we'll have a content hole, and we have to have a video period, or there will be like a whole like calendar mix up. We're going to miss a week, and so on and so forth. I'm always up in my own head about this stuff, and Katie hates it because Katie just wants to have a good time. And I am very perfectionistic, and I'm thinking about content first. And sometimes Katie's right. Not all the time, but sometimes Katie's right.
Didn't know he was going to admit
and
that.
And we just have to
Everyone's heard it.
We just have to let
What's the timestamp on this?
We're not doing timestamps.
What is it? I need to be able to pull it up.
You can't do it all. And don't forget to have fun.
I mean, I was just as guilty of trying to make that schedule for Christmas Town too busy.
Well, we were trying to do it all. I mean, that's the bottom line. We were trying to do everything because we wanted to see everything, but also because we wanted the YouTube video to see everything.
Like, you miss out, like, when you do cover events, whether you're invited to cover an event like we were for some Hans and stuff, or you're just there to enjoy it, you will miss out on the enjoyment if you're just running around like a crazy person. That's what I learned.
Having said that, we were able to pick and choose kind of what we wanted to see at Hershey Park Christmas Candy Lane. We got there quite early in the day, so it wasn't terribly crowded, and we had good luck getting to a lot of different things, but there were a lot of things that we knew we weren't going to be able to do.
Yeah.
And we were comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And we had a much better time at Christmas Candy Lane from the get. We did have a good time at Christmas Town in the end.
Yes. But I will say, like, as far as like the number of shows and things like that, there was more at Christmas Town, but there was still stuff, like Tim said, we didn't prioritize at Candy Lane. And in the end, we ended up kind of having like a really fun and less stressful day overall at Candy Lane for it.
But I will also say, this is not something we have publicized. We went to Christmas Candy Lane a day later than we had planned to go to Christmas Candy Lane. And the reason for that was because we had borderline anxietal meltdowns about the content that we were gonna. It's a hidden lesson, yeah. We had planned to go on a Saturday, and we basically got all stressed out about like we're pivoting away from Halloween so quickly, and we're trying to get into Christmas mode, and we need to be Christmassy, and the energy needs to be up because it's a vlog, and we got to create content and so on and so forth, and we just weren't feeling it. And it's okay not to feel it. It's okay to just like. We'll get into.
I was gonna say this.
This will bleed into another thing, so we won't go all the way into this. But that's the bottom line. It's like you have to let go sometimes of doing things the way you plan to do them. You just can't do everything. I would agree, Tim.
Oh yeah,
Candy Lane is a multi-day thing.
We enjoyed doing 2 days of Candy Lane last year.
There's a couple things that we didn't do at Candy Lane that weren't even open when we went.
Oh yeah, we totally missed Treeville. Like that wasn't even an option for us when we went. So,
but this,
I'm not dissing Candy Lane.
No, not at all.
Candy Lane.
But I will say, any of you out there, any of you watching, we have a couple people I know on our subscriber list that are content creators, and they really want to be Disney vloggers. God help you if you try to do it all at Epcot's Festival of the Holiday, or Universal's Christmas celebration, or anything in Central Orlando on the first day when it's a madhouse. It's nuts. So I just feel like it's a better time when you let go a little bit.
Yeah.
I actually didn't set that up too terribly. Our next point, and this isn't necessarily a hard lesson, but it is a lesson that I think is key to content creation, and that is to support other content creators. And it's not, when I say support other content creators, I don't mean like it's not obligatory. You shouldn't have to like it shouldn't be like pulling teeth to go watch other people's videos. But if you're out in the field and you like we've met so many other content creators as we're like going around. We travel a lot. We go to theme parks. We've now gone to theme parks all over the world, technically. We've gone to haunts all over the tri-state area. I was going to say country, but we really haven't. We will get to that. It's on the to-do. But we have done a lot of traveling. We have met a lot of content creators in various different fields, and we've connected with them, and we've had good conversations with them. A lot of them we have, Instagram DMs with back and forth. I feel like it is really important for small creators to support one another. And whether that means if you don't have time to watch a whole video, I don't think you should force yourself to watch a whole video you don't have time for. I think if you just give them a little love on Instagram, like heart or comment, or if you want to just drop into their videos long enough to, watch a minute and give a like, or even just sharing the content with someone who might appreciate it, that really goes a long way.
Yeah.
Because
I think also the hard lesson was not that I think we were ever like, no, we're doing this on our own, but I think a lot of our growth did come from networking with other people and other content creators. So no, we're not huge, and we don't think we ever will be. And we're happy with where we are, but and honestly, we've made really nice connections with other content creators. Honestly, some of the people we talk to most right now in our lives are other content creators.
And we're real friends. It's not fake. It's not like we're putting on, there is an element of facade in any content creation gig. Like, you do have to put up energy when you're not necessarily feeling energetic. Some of that is acting, and we have background in theater, so it comes a little more naturally to us than it might to other people. But the friendships that we're making in our circles here, these other creators that we're connecting with, that's real. Like, we talk to these people off the clock. When we're not vlogging, we still communicate, we still go hang out. And a lot of these content creators, by the way, are in the chat right now. I'm not feeling obligated to tell you that you should go watch Sapphire's vlogs or Chad and Vanessa's vlogs, 2 Tickets to Adventure, or Storming Thrills. Tim, I know you have a couple vlogs in there too. But I want to do that because I genuinely enjoy watching that content. And Frances, who just joined.
Hi.
Frances also has a channel, and she has been very diligently putting up content for a long time, and she definitely deserves a shout out because she has been rocking it. I also know for a fact that she's under the weather right now. So I don't know why you're watching us. You should be asleep, but we love you.
Anyway.
Support small creators.
It's really not a hard lesson. It's just definitely one that like kept coming up, and like we don't want other people who are maybe building their own brand and their own channel to feel like they're in this alone, because you're really not. There's a lot of people kind of doing similar things to you who have maybe good advice or are just someone to talk to. I mean, maybe you get your first mean comment and you just want to be able to talk to someone about it. It does happen. Sorry. But hopefully,
Poor
you know.
Frances.
Oh.
You are so sweet. You are so sweet. Thank you so much.
I hope everyone is well for whatever holidays they are celebrating.
I just want to say, I on this topic of small creators, I started watching Frances because I actually joined a networking group when we started doing Disney content, because there's a ton of Facebook groups for Disney content. Now, we're not Disney exclusive bloggers, but through that group, I managed to connect with a lot of other people that had really good content that also wasn't wholly Disney related. Frances is one of the content creators that I really liked from the get-go, that I really started watching her stuff just passively because I enjoyed it, and it still is enjoyable. And the same goes for Sapphire's content. Every time she posts a vlog, I'm genuinely excited to watch. So a little bit goes a long way. That's the key. It's like, the thing that I really want to communicate here, we're not big. And as Katie said, we're probably never going to be huge, and we're comfortable with that. But anyone who is medium-sized, anyone who is huge, anyone who is astronomically blown off the face of the planet, we all started the same way. We all started with 1 subscriber.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that. Okay, final hard lesson before a brief respite for those who have been patiently waiting. Respect your hosts. Adhere to media requirements. We worded this very carefully.
Yes.
So I will say there have been a couple of occasions, 2 rather recently, and we won't go into specific details about any of them. But as we have grown, we have been lucky enough to be invited to a couple of different media events at different places. It's largely been in the haunt scene. That's where we've most had success. And we're really appreciative of that because we love going to haunts and we love checking out. And every haunt, by the way, super unique and super cool. And the Christmas haunts that we've been to, or we're about to go to, because we're going to another one this weekend, have been just knocking it out of the park. So we love this industry. Having said that, when you go as media, you are under a different obligation than going as a guest. When you go as media, typically someone will tell you, here's what you can show, here's what you can't show. And we have done our best to tread that line and be very careful about what we show and not giving too much away. However, there have been a couple of instances very recently, and I'm very thankful that we haven't totally screwed up and burned any bridges. But I do, as I mentioned, I do get in my own head when I'm thinking about content. I do think about how I want to edit things, how I want to place things, how I want to arrange things so that this doesn't get copyrighted, this doesn't get flagged, this doesn't get so on and so forth. And we put out videos sometimes without thinking any more of it. And the intent is obviously not to cross anyone. We're not trying to be, exposing secrets or anything. But there have been a couple of occasions where we've put out a video for a haunt and we've had to pull it back, because we realize after being contacted that it's giving away a little too much, giving away a little bit of the secret sauce. So we have had to learn this lesson the hard way several times, where we've had a video that's like really chugging along and getting some great momentum and really like it's doing so well that we're super proud of it and we're happy with the final product. And then we get like a text message or a call like, hey guys, really love the video, but there's a couple things in it that maybe we didn't want to show. And then at that point, all you can do is pull the video down, re-edit, and put it back up.
Yep.
And that's our fault. I mean, that's us not paying attention. So I'm not.
And like, when in doubt, if we ever had second thoughts, or maybe is this too much, we should probably just ask, because what happens a lot. Okay, this is semi-related, but I want to get back to what Tim's saying here.
Yeah. Put an asterisk there.
Asterisk. Like, we usually get told, oh, free roam, everything's fine, don't worry about it.
Do whatever you want.
But people aren't always thinking about what we're actually getting. So, sometimes it may get more into the haunts where a lot of stuff could be considered kind of like secret sauce, and we don't necessarily want to give out the full recipe. We just got to think about that. So that's tough, because it really stinks to pull down a video that's already getting some momentum, because it pretty much guarantees that it's not going to do as well.
And haunts, if you think about it, a lot of haunts, there are some that aren't, right? So before I say all this, there are some haunts like Halloween Horror Nights where they don't let you film just because they don't want you to be tripping over your own feet. If they got a conga line, they can need it. Some of it's safety. But like for most haunts are small businesses, right? They've done everything themselves. Take Markov's Haunted Forest as an example, because he literally said this to us. Like, everything they did there, they built themselves. Every creation, every creature, every actor, mask, every live cast. I don't know.
I think live cast.
I don't know the official noun.
When they take someone's face.
Yeah. It's all like, it's handmade, and those aren't necessarily trade secrets, but like if you tell everyone exactly how they did it, then it de-incentivizes people to go to that haunt if they can go to 3 others that are just like it because they've copied and pasted.
Yeah.
So the idea when you're invited as media is to showcase what they're doing there, and why it's important, and why it's cool, and why other people should go and see it. And if anything you do, anything you shoot, or any edit that you put together takes away from that, you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we kind of mean by, like, you have to pay attention to what you're doing, even if it's not specifically said, please don't shoot this. Just being mindful of like the end goal.
Right.
Don't lose sight of it, like I sometimes do, and be willing to abide by whatever rules come out after the video comes out, just as much as when you're shooting the video.
Yeah. And with regard to what Tim's saying here, like, we always, and I hope this message has come across in our videos.
A couple of different live streams.
Absolutely follow the rules. We do not pull out cameras if we have not been given explicit permission to do so, which means we are not filming on rides at Hershey, especially on the roller coasters. We're not filming.
There's a couple of rides like the monorail and the carousel and whatnot, but yeah, not.
I think the train is okay.
Yeah. Not anything where where it's very clear that you're not supposed to.
Yeah, obviously roller coasters, things like that, you're not allowed to film. And if there's shows that we're watching that they say no cameras or flash photography, we put it away. There's been times where we even know that, like, lots of big media came to like Universal's new escape rooms, and even they weren't allowed to film like inside those escape rooms. So just, again, follow the rules. Respect your hosts, respect the park rules, whether you're hosted there or not, respect the event rules. And, we'll touch on something. We'll segue into this a little bit more later about like being aware of your surroundings.
I don't know where that segue is going.
Yeah, it's in my head. But
okay.
Anyway, thanks for reminding
you.
us, Tim, and we hope that people know we do not endorse filming in places it's not allowed.
Whether you are media or not, don't shoot where you're not supposed to shoot.
Yep.
But if you are media, you have an obligation to be that much more careful and respectful.
Yep.
All right.
All
Are y'all ready? We're going to take a brief intermission here. Anyone who has stuck it out for 40 minutes in the hopes of finding out who the giveaway winner is, and not because you're just enjoying the content, if you're like pulling your teeth, then this monologue is probably making it worse. But we thank you for joining us and sticking it out this long. Now, before we announce our giveaway winner, I will just say we have had some trouble screen sharing on this platform in the past. So we actually pulled our giveaway winner at 7 o'clock and screen recorded it. So we've known the whole time who won. We just haven't announced it to everyone else. So I am going to show you all the winner in our roulette wheel, and then we will be right back. It was so close.
We did have
so close.
A couple last-minute entries. A couple more channels got up to that 6 mark.
Yeah, the max number of entries you could have was 6 because we had 3 different videos you could comment on. If you were a public subscriber, you got double entries. So if you commented 3 times, you would get 6 entries. And there were initially only a couple of people had entered at 6, and Tim, actually, Storming Thrills, who supported us for a while now, so we're happy for him. He commented all 3 videos very quickly, and for a while he was the only one who had. Then at the last second, we had several people come in and comment on all 3 videos. I am very thankful for everyone who has supported the channel. So we appreciate all of you, whether you won or not. And there will be, as we say, more giveaways. But we are especially thankful for all the attention that this has brought our 3 holiday theme park vlogs. And we appreciate all of you for entering and playing around with us.
There will be more.
There will be more. And Tim,
Storming Thrills, woo!
And Tim, we will be in contact about how to get you your prize box. We can ship it to you. We can drop it off because we know you're a little more local. Whatever is easiest for you. But we are.
But don't put any personal information in the chat.
Don't put any personal information in the chat.
You know how to reach us.
Congratulations, Tim.
And thank you again, everyone who entered, everyone who watched the videos, commented, anyone who is a public subscriber. We really enjoyed reading the comments and seeing where you like to spend the holidays.
Yeah, we actually
very wholesome.
We learned a lot about all of you by your entries. So, and there's been a lot of interest in Hershey Park, Busch Gardens, and Disney that we didn't know existed in this. We knew that it existed in this community, but we didn't know that you individually had expressed interest in going to see these places. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun getting to know you a little more. And we appreciate everyone entering, including Skate Charlie, whose comment has been up for a half minute here. I was trying to circle back. I just didn't get around to it. It's been a lot of fun. So we appreciate you all. And again, not the last giveaway. I think we all agree this one went pretty well. So we're looking forward to offering more bundles in the future. But the holiday giveaway is officially closed. All right. Anyone who just cared about the giveaway, your qualification has been met. We've still got 5 lessons to talk about, though. So anyone who wants to stick around, we'd be happy to chat more with you.
Thank you. Happy holidays. And thanks for playing.
Lesson 6?
Lesson 6.
I was going to say 6th lesson, but then I realized it would come out like Daffy Duck.
6th
lesson. Not everyone will understand what you do. This is not an incredibly wholesome lesson.
Yeah.
This is unfortunately a product of a, what do we call it? A not ideal TikTok circumstance. Grammar is not the best.
Yeah.
Just trying to let me back up. In the last couple of years, really since COVID, since people started kind of leaning on social media more and seeing more of what bloggers do and seeing the opportunities that exist within the content creation community, there have been some who have been misbehaving throughout parks in particular, but anywhere. Really, parks are the big thing that has brought a lot of attention. People will have phones on roller coasters. People will have phones on rides. People have been climbing over walls, sitting in fountains, drinking from Splash Mountain. There has been a lot of bad behavior from people, would-be content creators who really have no interest in following the rules so much as they do in building an audience very, very quickly and hopefully going viral. And there has been a sentiment among a lot of people. And I do this to myself because I browse forums, I read comments. Anytime a news story pops up, I can't help it. I click on it. I read about the latest TikTok fiasco. Yes. Frances is hyper aware of this because she sees it all the time in the parks. I know. Yeah. Well, that's a different thing, but
it's related though.
It's related though.
Because I think it's not everyone who's attending the same event or the same theme park or whatever will understand why you're filming it. But I think she's absolutely right. We literally have conversations about this all the time that our family does not understand, and friends and people we know and love outside of YouTube don't understand why we do what we do. They don't understand.
There's two levels to this, right? The first level is what I was getting at, is that a lot of people have the sentiment at this point that TikTok, social media, YouTube, vloggers, all bad eggs. They have ruined the parks. The bad behavior is escalating. We want them out. And I have seen numerous campaigns have Disney, Hershey Park, Universal, whatever else, just cut people from vlogging altogether. And actually, Tokyo Disneyland has done it. They have not done it in so many official words, but they have done it in such a way that they've forbidden certain types of equipment that makes vloggers kind of reliant on their phones. And Six Flags has done it. Six Flags won't allow you to have a camera, won't allow you to have a GoPro. The one thing they will allow you to have is their phone, which is a whole different breed of problems in my opinion. And I'm not totally sure I agree with that decision. But at the end of the day, like, people will campaign against vlogging because they think vlogging equals disruptive, vlogging equals rule breaking, vlogging equals so on and so forth. If you're content creating, even if you're using your phone or just doing a quick TikTok, you have to be mindful of the fact that there are people around you who may be irritated about it for no reason. You may not be bothering them. You may not be disturbing what they're doing. It's their problem. The issue lives rent-free in their minds. It's not on you, but they will be angry at you for no reason. And this has come up in a couple of different ways for us. It's come up in Disney, because we have one live stream we did talk about incidental footage and how to kind of like avoid, or what we feel like is appropriate for shooting in a theme park. And sometimes you will catch someone who doesn't want to be on camera in incidental footage. You don't mean to, you're shooting your friend or whatever, eating this Dole Whip, but in the background is someone's kid running around and the person's really agitated that their kid was caught on camera. That has happened to us. And honestly, it wasn't worth the quarrel. So I just deleted the footage, which is really, I think, all you can do if it's going to be an issue. But for the record, the kid wasn't the point of the shot. The kid was in like that tiny portion of the frame. So it's not like that person really understood what you were doing or why we were doing it. Mm-hmm. It was just a momentary flash of anger because vloggers equal bad. And that's a thing that we have to contend with in the content creation community. If we want to do what we love, we have to put up with the fact that a couple of rotten apples will sometimes ruin the batch for everyone else. But it is largely fun to do what we do. And there's many more people, for everyone who has ever said, please don't film me, or get out of I don't want this camera anywhere near me, or so on and so forth. There have been a number of people who have come up and said, what's your channel? I want to see it. I want to check it out.
Some people have literally been like, our kids want to be in your vlog. And we're okay.
On this topic, never put anyone, a random stranger, in your video unless they have asked, and if they are young, if their parents have given consent.
Yep.
That is the safest way to play the game.
Yep.
But anyone who wants to be in our videos, if they pop up, I can't guarantee it's going to fit in the edit. I can't guarantee it won't be left on the cutting room floor, but we try our best to be inclusive of anyone who wants to be part of this community. Yeah. The other thing is what Frances brought up, and what Katie kind of touched on really recently, is we do not have necessarily a ton of support in our family tree. There are people in our extended family who watch the vlogs religiously, but there's a lot of people in our family, our friend groups, that just don't understand what we're doing. I, believe it or not, I'm an introvert. I have a lot of introverted friends who do not want to be on camera. For me, honestly, having the camera kind of like disassociates me just enough that it makes the experience more pleasurable to be in a theme park surrounded by people, thousands of people brushing shoulders. It doesn't bother me as much when I have a camera because it feels like I'm inside a safe space when I'm looking at the lens. It's a strange kind of anxiety coping method. Why don't you just talk? Anyways, yeah, but there are also communities where, like, you take your family to a media event, which I guess is Frances's sample here. They don't get why you're recording. We had to explain the entirety of YouTube to some of our in-laws. I mean, it's
Yeah.
It's not a known industry still to this day. Being an influencer or a content creator is not seen as something that can actually be a full-time gig. And it very much is. It's very much a full-time job on top of our full-time jobs. We're very appreciative of anyone who gets that. And there have been some who get it right off the bat and appreciate the hard work you pour in. There are others who just never will. And that's okay. Not everyone is going to get it, but it can be frustrating. You got to learn to live with it.
I do remember that fateful day.
We do remember. To be clear, not on remix. In the queue line for remix before we got on.
Because you had to get the cool queue with all the lights and the candy. It was so well themed.
It's a very cool new attraction. It's not new anymore, but it was very new at the time.
Yeah.
It was a fun day.
That was cool.
Okay. Don't overbook. Know your limits and don't burn out. That's the whole lesson. On to the next one. It kind of is all right there, though, right?
Yeah.
If you are, especially if you're being invited to media events, and I know this is something that Francis deals with all the time, hence the sweat drops. But if you are being invited to media events or hosted events, and I want to be clear, this is very new to us. This was the busiest year we've ever had. We've been invited to a lot of places, and we're very thankful for that. But we have had to say no to some, not because we hate them or because we don't want to work with them or because we have strong feelings one way or the other, just because we had either already booked ourselves, in haunt season particularly, we had already booked ourselves pretty much to the fullest extent possible by early September. That was the whole, like all the way through the end of November, we had been booked. Anyone who came to us midway through September or in early October, it was hard. It broke our hearts, but we had to say no because we'd already committed to all these different places. Now, could we have squeezed in another thing on Friday or Sunday, or maybe taken a day off work and gone Monday or whatever? We could we have made it work? Potentially.
But would it have been stressful?
Would it have been stressful? Would we have made a good video? Would we have had time to edit a good video?
That's the other thing. Like, we don't want to, like, if the expectation is, don't take it personally. If the expectation is make a video of our event, cover it, put it on your channel, that does take time, and we don't want it to be a crappy video because we don't. That's our reputation too.
But it's also the media person, like whoever's invited us, like it reflects badly on them if we don't show what they're doing properly.
So it's not to say like we can't just we can absolutely go and enjoy a haunt without filming.
And we do. We have and we do all the time.
But if we've been asked to make content for it, we don't want to make a promise we can't keep.
And this isn't exclusive to haunts either. It just so happens that haunt season is when we're the busiest. And
it was a lesson we learned very quickly during this haunt season.
During haunt season is because we are so busy and we book up so early. The first time in our lives we've had to say no to a media invite, and we had to say no to a couple. And we're hoping that we can go back and make good on those media invites next year, because we'd really like to experience some of these places. We just didn't have the time to do it this season.
And I think this lesson can also be said for some of our vlogging trips that we've done or vacations that we've taken where we plan to vlog. And, you know, we have a 9-day trip and our plan is to make 7 vlogs from that trip. You know, maybe by the end, we've actually only made 5 because things didn't work out or we got burnt out from doing the first 4 vlogs and we only have enough energy for 1 more. That's happened too. And other things have happened, which we'll go into later, but we do kind of, I think we did a really good job with our Netherlands trip that we took this summer with saying, these are the vlogs we're going to do.
Which is saying something because we were so jet lagged on the first day that we almost died.
We were so tired. I literally almost fell asleep in my food. I was eating this delicious meal and I was like, I really just want to put my head down.
Imagine if we had tried to vlog that day.
Oh, no, I don't want to.
You would have been so angry at me.
Looked like a disaster. But yeah, we did a good job with that. So I'm hopefully this lesson has stuck a little bit more, at least for our future trips. You know, creating a content calendar or a, you know, vlog wish list and putting like ones that are like, this one is expendable.
We
if
must
we need
do
it
this
to,
one, but we may be able to ditch this one.
if we're tired.
Honestly, if you're gonna do a content calendar, and we'll talk about this too towards the end, but if you're gonna do a content calendar, if you're gonna be like, I will post a video once a week, every week, and it's gonna be this day, and I'm gonna, like, you leave yourself enough wiggle room that you don't feel like you have to kill yourself to get it out.
Yeah. And I want to shout out Frances, because even though she feels personally
which
attacked,
comment should I put up?
Just this, that one, yeah. Because she actually released a very short personal vlog recently that said, I didn't do any vlogs on my honeymoon because I didn't want to. And I didn't want to look at my honeymoon through a lens, and I just wanted to enjoy it. And I say, bravo. Because I know you spend a lot of time content creating, and I'm really glad that you took a break, and hopefully I'm sure it was well-deserved, and you got to enjoy some really cool places. I think it was a cruise that she took.
It was a bunch of different locations.
Yeah, it seemed
Turkey,
like everywhere.
and all over Europe. It was beautiful.
All over.
The pictures were beautiful, and I'm quite satisfied with the pictures.
Yeah, to take pictures. So anyway, sometimes you do listen to and don't burn out yourself. So I just wanted to call out that positive behavior.
Mediterranean cruise.
Okay, I was right about the cruise.
Partial credit.
Partial credit.
Tim, so Efteling, you're very close. It's missing an E, but I'm gonna let it slide because it's a Dutch word. That's how
very close.
The interesting thing is that the Dutch call it the Efteling.
The Efteling.
It's not it's DE Efteling,
Which
but when they say it in English, which they often do as soon as they recognize that you're an English speaker, they switch to English and they go, the Efteling. I hope you enjoyed the Efteling today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a magical place,
yeah.
And we would have been selling ourselves short as well as the park if we had tried to do too much.
4 days and only vlogged 2 days.
And to be honest with you, we got a lot of nice comments from other Dutch people, and several of them said, so glad that you left some time for yourselves to enjoy the park.
Yeah.
Which is a new experience because Americans will never ever say that. But it was nice. It was a nice time, and we're glad we did what we did.
All right, this is a hard lesson.
Make a gear list.
And check it twice.
Check it twice. I do have a bonus video for y'all because this is not exclusive to camera gear. So, things we have left behind. We have left behind batteries. We have left behind tripods. We have left behind lights. I did an entire vlog at Laurel's House of Horror as media in the dark with my iPhone light because I'm an idiot. Whole ass cameras. We have literally left cameras at home, driven an hour and a half, and been like, well, I guess we're gonna shoot this on the GoPro. Oh, real quick. Good night, Francis.
Good night, Francis. Feel better.
Feel better, sir.
Yep. Gear list.
Rest up. Okay. Yeah, the only other thing that I would add to this list is personal items such as dental floss. You wouldn't think you'd need a dental floss when you're going on a shoot.
If you're
you wouldn't think so, would
yourself,
you?
You might.
You wouldn't think so.
Did we mention like SD cards and memory cards?
Well, Francis did.
I know,
SD cards. We forgot. We've definitely left an SD card out and had to that's an easier one to fix because most of the GoPro SD cards, we have 2 GoPros that we bring to every shoot because we use one for audio and one for video, which is stupid, but that's what we do. And good thing we did because we were able to swap an SD card from one that did not have an SD card to one that suddenly did because we pulled it out of the other one. So, gear list. Make it, check it twice. You're forgetting something. It doesn't matter what you're doing or where you're going, you are forgetting something. If you don't make a list, you'll never know what that thing is until you need it. And then it won't be there. Pulling this right into probably the most important lesson on this freaking list, because this is something we have not done
we still learn
really ever, because even it's so rare that I remember, oh, I want to see how that looks, I should go back and check that to make sure I got it. No, it just doesn't occur to you because you're moving so fast, especially if you're content creating. And especially if your vlog style is more casual, sometimes you're just like, I hope I got it, and you move on. And that's probably a healthier way to live. But for us, because we try to be, I don't want to say like informative, but like we try to showcase a little bit more of everything. And we do focus very much on like a narrative flow. So like if I'm missing like a piece of audio that I need to bridge 2 clips, that's hell for me in the edit room. It's not actually a big deal, but in the moment when I discover it missing, it is the end of the freaking world.
Yeah.
So check your footage and your sound. Now, 2 stories I want to tell really quickly. They're both not positive stories. John, welcome. You joined just in time for my nightmare stories.
And Mitch.
Flow.
Mitchie.
I don't know what that means. Oh, narrative flow. Yes.
Just pop it on, saying flow, and
why don't you tell the brisket gate story? I already set it up. You love telling this story.
Okay, so
spent the whole time in the makeup chair telling this story.
So at Field of Screams, one of our favorite places to vlog, we were there. Now it was, I can't remember which event this was. It was
2021's Valentine's Day.
It was okay. It was 2021 Valentine's. So I think this was before we were even media, was it?
It was.
Okay.
We were there as guests.
Yep. So
we weren't able to shoot anything that wasn't public access.
As, non-hosted, non-whatever. So we were just there hanging out, and we took advantage of one of the food truck offerings that's often there at Field. This was a barbecue truck that
and it was good.
Offered I believe it was a brisket sandwich, which I think we shared, and like some fries or whatever. So we're eating, enjoying it, loving it. And then we decide to move on and start going. I don't know if we had gone. Usually we do like a house, eat, and then go back through another one.
Because you try to mix it up.
So the camera's back on and we're filming and we're all good and whatnot. Now, I cannot remember. Did we not find out about this until the footage came home, or did you realize?
What happened was, I said, "Do I have anything in my teeth?" And you said, a little small thing, but it's not really noticeable. Then I got home and loaded it into the edit suite. I let it go. I let it out of my mind. I got home and I started going through all the footage.
So I think I could only really see like the left side of your mouth, and it wasn't anything big, but you can see in that image that there's clearly a large black thing in Tim's mouth.
I hate this vlog. I hate it. This is from Valentine's Day 2021.
Halfway through, he's got this big old piece of brisket in his teeth, and we've called it the incident brisket gate.
I don't even want to bring it up anymore.
He had to use the
but
footage.
It was such an important lesson to learn.
He had to use the footage, and I think you tried like blurring it a little
bit.
I
did. That's how far I went. I tried to motion blur it. So like anytime my face came on screen, I tried to blur my face subtly.
I didn't think the blurring looked that bad.
But
he obviously hated it.
The vlog is fine. For what it was at the time, for the amount of traction it did or didn't get, it was fine. It wasn't a big deal to anyone but me. But for me,
a good performing Field video.
It's like watching. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's like me as like Dorian Gray, like looking at his portrait and like going like all ghost face and melting down. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So from that point on, we started including dental floss in our bags, and now we floss. We check our teeth after literally every meal.
Every meal we do
snack,
teeth check.
Any beverage that has like floating particles in it, which sounds gross, but I'm talking about like mixed drinks and whatnot. So anything like that, floss.
Pretty much.
The floss is there.
Floss, teeth check.
Engaged during just in time for brisket gate.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
that's happened too.
This bleeds into another story. Our
story.
Second horrible incident, because this brisket gate was a salvageable video, right? We still put out the video. We didn't have anything else to put out, so we put it out. It burns me to this day, but it's there. I allowed it to be on the internet. This other mistake was so bad, I did not even allow the footage to see the light of day.
You will never see.
Except here on this live stream. This is the only time you will see this footage. So what happened was, when we went to Alani, we had planned, similar to the way we talked about doing the Netherlands and the way we did Busch Gardens and whatnot. We decided when we went to Hawaii that we would vlog this day, this day, this day, skip these 2 days, vlog this day, this day, this day. And we planned a whole content calendar around what we intended to shoot. That content, because we're in the Northeast, a lot of stuff is closed in January, February. We have to pace that content out if we want our channel to stay alive during those cold winter months. So we had planned to have content. You need water?
That'd be nice.
We had planned to have that content go all the way through the spring. It did, but there's one vlog missing that was such an otherwise good vlog. It was a whole day.
Sad.
It was a whole day of magical experiences, of dining, of character interactions. It was our second day on property. What happened was we got there, we got it in, we got settled, we started spreading out, we started unpacking. The microphone cover on our camera had started to like tear because the floofer, as we call it, or as Kaylee calls it, had been damaged during transit as we flew 13 hours across 2 different flights. So we took that thing off and we stuck another microphone on. And when you do that, you have the way our camera works, there's no port for an external mic. It's a little like stick-on ring. So we got little adhesive rings, and then we attach the floofer to that, and then we stick it over top of the natural inset microphone.
So it's a mic cover that helps keep like...
I should have brought the actual camera. But
it keeps like wind noise down
It's very useful, and I would dare say it's essential.
Yes. Without it, your sound is not as good.
But with it on raw...
properly, your sound is the worst.
So we put the new sticker on, the new floofer that had the adhesive on it. Some of the adhesive peeled off of the bottom of the microphone floofer and went inside the microphone. And it muffled the entire day's worth of sound.
So like our leaving home stuff, our getting to Alani stuff was fine, but the mic thing changed that night. So the next day we're out there again.
The whole day.
The whole thing was
crap.
The
entire day we did not check our footage once. This was the lowest point of our entire vlogging career. I can't even begin to tell you. We were like in the hotel room with our heads in our hands, like all this footage, this wonderful day that we had. And it was a truly amazing day. It's all worthless.
If you've ever watched our
Makahiki breakfast. Katie was insistent that I release some of that footage.
Yes.
Because some of that, we caught it after that breakfast. So we were able to do other stuff after the breakfast that made for like a 60% normal sounding vlog.
Yeah.
And I put heavy edits on the audio so that you could hear a little better.
He couldn't bring himself to try to mess with the other stuff.
I couldn't save it.
So anyway, here's an example of trash audio from when we sabotaged our own camera.
These are little snippets of the entire day's footage that I compressed down to like a less than a minute clip for all of you to understand how bad this audio was. And this is what I posted on the Makahiki vlog was the audio I was able to kind of finesse and doctor and save a little bit. This is native. This is exactly how it sounds.
You hear how underwater it sounds.
Oh my goodness, you guys.
Hey,
hi. It's so good to meet you.
Have an email with you?
No, we did not. Okay. Have not seen him.
He's blown all the ring tiles our way. Okay. Sounds good. Can't wait.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah, stay dry.
Yes.
We will. Keep an eye out.
Thank you so much. There you go. Say hi to the camera, though. Oh, yes, Donald. The entrees have arrived at last. Look at this lamb.
Ashton's the best.
That makes me so sad.
All that footage.
That was the best. So
I understand too, before everyone jumps in the comments, I understand too that you can hear some of what we're saying in those in that content. So like it's not like it was
But it was very clicky.
You can hear the camera sound every time we adjust or focus.
It's very muffled.
It's underwater, and it's really like by the time we got to this point, I mean, this was 2022, the tail end of 2022, which is honestly like I feel we really hit our stride in 2022. Somewhere halfway through the year, we started really, I think, finding our flow and figuring out what made for a good vlog in our eyes. And this was just like, it was trash. I looked at the footage and I was like, I can't put this out there. This is horrible. This makes me so sad to put it out there.
You realized it after breakfast, and we at first thought our camera had just been like dropped or something. We were, like, and we thankfully we figured it out, and obviously we were able to put out the rest of the Aulani and Hawaii trip videos, and they were all perfectly fine. But just, pouring one out for the best Moana we met.
That was the Moana. I'm telling you all, we met so many Moanas over that trip alone. That was the Moana. That was our favorite Moana ever in the whole world.
We had a wonderful dinner.
The one at Epcot. We haven't met that one, but
the wonderful dinner at Ama no one will ever see, and I'll never get to relive. With our wonderful server Ashton, who was literally
she was handing stuff to us, like she was trying to set up the shots for the vlogger. It was I can't believe all that work went to this.
I know, but anyway.
Yes, Sapphire, we very, very, very briefly dabbled in video game YouTubing. It did. Well, you were part of it.
Oh, I am. I guess I was on a couple.
You were on a couple of them. It didn't go anywhere. That content's not available now, but. I know how this works. Like the audio is all you have if you're recording the screen. So it's when it goes wrong, it's worthless. Like everything you've done is lost. So yeah, this hurts still to this day. Like looking at that footage and remembering the day was wonderful. It was a wonderful day, and we'll always have those memories. But because we did not check the camera at any point over the course of that entire day.
And we learned after that, every time we checked that, we replaced that floofer to check it, the camera.
And we still forget to check sometimes the footage that we have, but we try to check it at least halfway through a shoot. At least halfway through a shoot.
And at least like, did we get the intro? Did we get the outro? That kind of thing. Oh, Tim might be gone, but thanks
for
Tim. Joining us.
We'll be in contact, bro.
We'll be in touch. Yeah.
Okay. Back to sad stuff.
Back to sad. I think I can't remember what lesson we're on.
We're on the final lesson.
Oh,
which is actually not a terrible.
No,
I think it's largely positive.
Yeah.
It's a largely positive takeaway, which is we may or may not have organized it that way. Our last lesson, and this actually goes hand in hand with everything we just covered.
Yep.
Health comes first, both mental and physical. This plays into getting burnt out. This plays into getting sick, but it also plays into just like if you're not feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
There have been times when putting together a vlog or even thinking about going out to shoot a vlog. Candy Lane is a perfect example, right?
Yeah,
because we did not feel like we were up to going out on the Saturday that we were originally planning to go out.
And we ended up going on Sunday. And if anyone's ever been to Hershey Park on a Sunday versus a Saturday, it's a heck of a lot.
It was quieter.
Better.
Now the turnaround was tighter. There was a little bit more stress in the edit room.
That's kind of the kit, because a lot of times we plan stuff for Saturdays so that Tim can start the edit.
Because we have to travel, and traveling takes time out of what would be time in the edit suite and all
that. But it ended up being worth it. We were in a better headspace. The crowds were less. I think weather was perfect.
Weather was better. It was better than it was on Saturday.
Yeah.
And but we couldn't know any of that was going to happen. So that wasn't necessarily.
But the reason we made that decision was because we are not in the headspace. It is not going to be fun.
We had a tough morning getting out the door, and we just realized we weren't going to enjoy making the video. Yeah. It was just going to be content that we felt we had to make in order to keep our content calendar. And when it comes to the content calendar, like, for those who haven't already picked up on it, we do not promise vlogs weekly. I've thought about doing it a couple of times because we're pretty consistent about putting out a weekly vlog, but every so often we miss one. And we miss one every so often because those are the weeks where work is stressful, something's going on with the family, we got sick, we weren't able to shoot what we were supposed to, we're not done editing what we were supposed to, so on and so forth. And it needs to be okay for you to miss one. It needs to be okay for you. I don't know who needs to hear this. Anyone out there who needs to hear this? I'm sure there are several creators on our list who have just taken entire months off, and that's okay.
What? That was on
From your hat. It's floofing up from every time you move your head.
I was like, what is that little scary thing?
Good night,
Thanks,
Gage.
Gage.
We're almost done. We
Yeah.
We
This is not
appreciate
a long
y'all.
one.
But well, actually, we've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh.
It's not been a short one.
No, but it's not been. We've gone on for almost over 2 hours before.
I think it comes with content creation that you want to create as much content as possible. That's sort of the nature of the gig. And you want to make content regularly, and you want people to expect regular
And
content from you.
consistency does pay off.
It does.
But for us, it's not worth our bodies and our minds. If it's the vlog comes out Thursday and I'm not going to sleep tonight, that's not really like a
There
choice.
have been occasions, very, very rare and sparing occasions, and I need them to stay this way. However big we get, I cannot function as a human being if these are not rare occasions. But there have been rare occasions where I will turn around and edit in 24 hours, and I will not sleep. Like, I will stay up until like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll go to bed at like 4 o'clock in the morning while everything is rendering. And before my eyes even shut, I'm already thinking, I forgot to do this thing. I'm going to go figure it out and stop the edit, stop the render or whatever, and stop the upload. I'm going to go add this sound effect or whatever. And it kills you. If you did that every week, it would absolutely kill you.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It's stuff that sometimes you feel like you have to do because especially if you're media, you're hosted, or if you know. Perfect example, going back to Hershey Park, is Wildcats Revenge. When Wildcats Revenge opened, we were not media. We're not media at Hershey Park so far.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day, maybe not. And I'm honestly okay either way.
We'll still keep going.
But we are pass holders. So we did get invited to the Wildcats Revenge pass holder preview event. And I knew this is my one chance to shoot it. I got to get it out quick. If it doesn't come out by Monday, it's not going to take off because there are hundreds of content creators that are on the media that did get invited. Some of them even got to film on the ride, which is something that they typically don't allow. But because it was such a big new ride for the park and a new type of ride, they were letting it fly. So if this video does not come out by Monday, it's not going to take off. It's going to get buried. I got it out by Monday. I did. I pushed all the way through. It was a Saturday that we went, right? Or a Friday. No, it was a Saturday.
Yeah, it was Saturday.
Saturday that we went. It was a Monday because it was a holiday weekend.
Oh, that's right.
It came out the following day.
That's right. It was
So I was
Memorial
wrong.
Day.
It was Memorial Day. I stayed up all night and I got it out on Tuesday morning. That was awful. But the video did take off. It did well. Let me look.
I think it was like 6.
It took off and then it stopped, which is exactly what I knew it would do because once the actual media creators start dropping vlogs, it becomes impossible to keep up with them.
Once like the POVs started getting posted, it wasn't.
Some of which were not sanctioned by the park. It got 1,300 views.
Oh, I don't know why I was thinking 6,000.
No.
I was thinking of a different video.
None of our Hershey Park content is ever going to do that.
That's
well.
true. That's true. Candemonium might have.
No. It was
My bad.
This was the top performing vlog. But this video, all of those 1,300 views, maybe except for like 4, all of those came within the first 8 hours.
Yeah.
Then dropped like a rock.
Yep.
And that's algorithm
That's
for you.
so
And when you know that's going to happen, when you know it's going to happen, it is really tempting to stress yourself out trying to get an edit out as quickly as possible. I did it that one time because I knew it was relevant and I knew it wasn't going to be relevant anytime after that. But I can't do it all the time.
No.
I think it's a big ask for us to get one vlog out a week sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And live streams are pretty easy, so we love doing those because they're interactive. But even that requires a little bit of prep work. I don't like to come in and just like hope
Turn
that
on the
everything goes
camera
okay.
and
Yeah, I like to have like a
hey.
narrative and a plot line, and that's why we do the PowerPoints. But we try very hard not to burn ourselves out. And we try to have like some time padded in for rest.
Yeah.
LWRAO, welcome and goodbye.
Coming in and coming out.
Thanks so much for joining, man. We appreciate you. LWR is another one you should check out, by the way. He's got mad cool drone footage.
Indeed.
the other thing I was going to say is with regard to dropping a video weekly, going back to what you had said earlier about Frances, who I don't think is on anymore because I know she had to go to bed, but Frances did post a video talking about why she didn't shoot while she was on her honeymoon. She just wanted to be in the moment and present and experience it. And so there's no content from that. The video is entitled
Why I'm Bad at Vlogging.
Why I'm bad at Vlogging.
It was cute.
And I think the title is an absolute misnomer because she is excellent at vlogging. In fact, she's better at vlogging than most people give her credit for. It's the fact that she has padded time in for herself, for her own mental health, that we really respected and appreciated. And this is not something that only small creators should do, or even creators that have full-time jobs outside of the full-time job. This is something that big creators do too. Jackie, super enthused, who's been, because you remember the same post that I do.
I do.
It was, and we've always appreciated how supportive Jackie has been of our channel and how friendly she's been towards us. But we've also appreciated just following in her footsteps as a vlogger, and like she's been inspirational to us in more ways than one. One of the most inspirational things that I think she ever did was post about how she was not intending to go to opening day of an Epcot festival very recently because she said sometimes you're just not feeling it, and that's okay. And I'm just going to go back when there's not as many people and it's not as overwhelming, and I actually enjoy the content that I make. And I was like, girl, bless you. You are awesome for this. It takes everything out of you to do it when you're not feeling like doing it. It's not going to result in a good video. It's not going to result in a good time.
And good memories.
And good memories. Chris the Girl, too. I know Chad and Vanessa are real tight with Chris the Girl in Tampa J. Chris had posted that she wasn't going to drop a video last week, the week before, just because she was like, this video is too important to me to rush out the door, and I'm going to take some time with family this week. And I was like, go, girl. Yep, you do you.
That.
That's it's good policy. Just mental health.
I wish that
and physical
YouTube
health.
And the algorithm rewarded break. I know it would be impossible, but I feel like it would be nice if like someone's like, I can't do it today, and you didn't get penalized for that. But
yeah. It's tough. It's really tough because you do, and this is the other thing, and I want to touch on this very, very briefly because it's an important component, but I am wrapping it up here. It's really tough when you're in content creation, whether you're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. It's really, really hard not to get competitive. It's unhealthy to get competitive. Healthy competition is really not a thing in content creation. You can be supportive of other creators or you cannot be. But if you get competitive, and everyone does it. We all fall into that hole because we all know that one person or those two people or those 6 people who started after you and took off 3 times as fast, or had the diligence to go a little further than you did with shorts, or go a little further than you did with Instagram Reels, or so on and so forth, had more time, had more energy, or just had more passion for the product and got a little bit ahead of you. And it hurts. It does. And when you feel that pain sitting inside of you, you're like, oh, I got to redouble my efforts. I got to push harder. I deserve to be a content creator after all the work I've put in. And it's never going to happen if I don't push myself 3 times as hard. And when you do that, the content is not good. It's not better for what you're doing to yourself. Yeah. You have to enjoy what you're doing. And it's been really helpful for us because we're not immune to this. We do get competitive sometimes just because
compare yourselves.
It's hard not to compare yourself to other channels and other people. And I think it's important in those moments to think about why you got into this. Was it because you wanted to go viral? Was it because you wanted to be a Instagram famous individual? Or was it because you wanted to
tell your
stories, influence lives, motivate people to go do fun things? And that's why we started. And that's what I have to keep reminding myself. That's the reason we started. And that is something you have to hold on to for the entire journey. You can't forget it for a second.
We had a really, really fun Saturday at Field.
We did.
And we had another person come up to us and say the reason why they came to Field in the last couple of years was because they saw our videos. So that was
And
really
that-
special.
Those
And I agree with everything in this comment.
yes, I
but
100% do too. That's why I
Yeah.
put it up. That interaction that Katie's talking about, that's happened a couple of times, particularly at Field, and that you can't fathom how much that means to us. Like just to know that if we inspired one person to get out of their house and come do something fun that they've never done before, or that they never thought they would do just because it looked fun in our videos, that's enough.
Mhm.
We don't need to be Instagram famous or TikTok famous. We don't even have TikTok, but you get the idea. Like, we don't need to be 100,000 subscribers deep to feel like we're doing well.
Mhm.
We just want to showcase what other people are doing to make
If
the world
anything-
more fun.
We're just showing off what other people are doing really well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of the end of the sentence, really.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, prioritize your mental health, prioritize your physical health. Do not push yourself beyond parameters that are healthy for you.
And I think we said this before. If you're not having fun, step back, rethink, because you might be just doing something wrong. You're overbooking. You're not taking care of yourself.
Oh, that's really sweet,
Oh,
John.
that's really
Thank you.
sweet, John. Thank
We appreciate that.
I guess that's kind of it.
See that? I'm done now. I can go to bed. No,
Yeah,
but for
that
real,
one-
guys.
that was lesson
Anyone?
10. There's more lessons, of course. Feel free to drop any.
One
Sorry,
of them
I'm
is
fixing-
don't kick the table
My
in the middle of the
slipper fell off
live
and my
stream.
heel was cold.
Lesson 11: don't kick a table in the middle of live
I'm
stream.
sorry. These live streams are a mess.
They can be chaotic,
I'm
but
sorry.
we appreciate
I
y'all.
kind of forget we're like talking to real people because I'm like, I gotta fix my slipper.
Wait, you think we're recording an autobiography?
No, I just like forget that we're just not just, I don't know, just chatting away, and I'm like, they can't see me fix my shoe, but yeah, they totally can.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. This was our final lesson.
Aw, I want to give Mitchie a big old hug.
Mitchie should come here. Mitchie, we've come to you several times. I think it's your turn. I'm kidding.
Are you guys even in Florida right
No,
now?
he's in Indiana.
I could still use a hug though.
Anywho's
I'd take a
it's.
Mitchie hug.
We appreciate y'all, and any of you on this list who are content creators. I know there's a couple in the comments so far, and some of you might not be, but might want to be someday, and might be thinking about it already. We hope these lessons have been beneficial, and we hope that you have taken away. If there's one thing to take away, two things to take away.
Always check your teeth.
Always check your footage, which includes your teeth,
Sorry.
and prioritize your mental health, because you only get one body and one brain. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
Don't empty your bucket and have nothing left to give the world.
Don't try making content with no brain. It's not good.
For tonight's creator spotlights, we do want to highlight, obviously these are not all the small creators that support us and that we are proud to support, but we are, of course, happy to support some of these smaller creators. Wishing Mouse, Zoe, all of these people I think entered. Actually, Magical by Sarah did not enter the giveaway.
But that's because
She's been busy.
Well, she's also not she lives in the UK.
Yes,
So
that's true too.
we said we wouldn't ship to her.
That's true too.
anyway.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Okay. Wishing Mouse. That's our friend Zoe. You've seen her in a couple of vlogs, I'm sure, at this point. She's got Instagram. She's got YouTube. She does. I found out today she has a Twitter. I don't know if she ever uses it. And then it's X now. X Twitter. Facebook. Magical by Sarah is a UK vlogger, as Katie pointed out, and she has been lovely to us and has also worked really hard to develop a content presence while also working a full-time job, which I understand can be very demanding. So Instagram and YouTube are her primaries, and she also travels with her partner Lauren, they're all together in the same. I think Magical by Sarah is now Magical by Sarah and Lauren, but the handle is the same.
Oh, okay.
So they've combined forces. 2 tickets to adventure. Chad and Vanessa, you all know them. Hopefully you all love them. We do. YouTube and Instagram are their primaries. If y'all have anything
Japan
besides,
content
they are
now.
releasing Japan content currently. It is good stuff.
Good stuff.
I can attest to it. And Chad thought it was all going to be crap, but I think it's awesome.
None of it has been crap.
None of it has been crap. It's all been great. I know, and that actually, just to close it out and bring it full circle, traveling to Japan was a new thing for them. maybe we'll have them on at some point and talk about their experiences internationally and compare it with our own. That would be fun. But
yeah, maybe like an international.
But I know when they
Live
came
stream.
back, they said, I don't know how these videos are going to turn out. We kind of just like got sporadic and stopped vlogging. And I'm like, you know what? More power to you. Because if you're enjoying yourself, the content will show it.
Yep.
Really and truly. It's a hard thing for me to believe when I'm out there vlogging, but it really does. It turns out better when you're having fun. Oops, I meant to put up a vlog. Our next live stream
Awkward
is
silence.
going to be 2 weeks from today, which, of course, those of you who can count ahead, is going to be Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. I'm not expecting a huge turnout, but if we don't do it then, it's going to be a long time before we do it again because I have oral surgery coming up, which is going to be super fun. Looking back and looking forward, we're going to do a 2023 recap as well as a kind of peek into 2024 and wish list, talking about all the things that we're going to be doing. Some of the things that we're going to be doing. We don't have them all hardlined yet, but they're all tentative. And I do appreciate, I did see this comment earlier, Sapphire, but I didn't have a chance to respond to it. I'm glad that you were able to relate, as I know you are in the content creation game and getting used to some of this stuff. And we have always really liked your vlogs. So I do just want to shout you out too. Sapphire Amber, everyone, check her out. And check out Scaredy Bears. It's an Etsy shop. She's a pretty great artisan as well.
Artiste. Thanks,
We'll see you there,
we'll see you on
John.
the 26th.
I'll do a group chat on Zoom.
What is? Oh, I mean, actually, that's probably not a bad idea, but we probably won't post that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mitch and Devin have traveled the world too, many times, probably way more places than we have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I've talked too much,
Well,
as is tradition.
Before we go, I do want to wish everyone happy holidays, whatever you're celebrating. If you're not celebrating anything, that's fine too. Happy New Year. I hope 2024 treats you well.
And we will
see you one more time before officially the new year, but because the 26th.
Yes, for live streams. We will also have vlog content coming out. We do have a vlog for Thursday of this week from Field of Screams. We do have another one coming. It's very special the following week, which is going to be my first foray into scare acting. Ooh. Long awaited. And then we will have some holiday content from the New Year's holiday as well. But until then, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We hope everyone enjoyed and learned something new. And we hope that everyone will participate in the next giveaway whenever it happens. Congratulations again to Tim, our winner. Everyone have a wonderful night. I'm Tim.
I'm Katie.
The other Tim. And every night,
it's a new adventure.
We will see you again next time.